Hello, welcome back. As you can see, it's Uridium today from Hewson Consultants in 1986. Running order is Commodore 64, Amstrad CPC, ZX Spectrum, and then the BBC Micro. I've only ever experienced the Spectrum version of this, never experienced any of the other versions, so as ever, it's just to put them together and see what they're like, how they compare against each other, how similar they are, how different they are, and to invite discussion between ourselves about you know, the strengths and weaknesses of all four versions. Commodore 64 version, I believe, is the one that sort of came out first by Andrew Braybrook, and it was the game that Commodore 64 owning friends back in the day used to use to batter us poor specky owners with. Oh, the Spectrum won't ever be able to do that, you'll never get that. Other games that they tried that with were Impossible Mission and the Summer Games ones. Now I know we got Mission Impossible Mission 2, and the games eventually sort of came out on the gold, silver, bronze thing. But yeah, I was very happy when Uridium finally was released on the Spectrum. Now, I'm completely crap at it. I was crap at it then, I'm crap at it now. I'm never going to get any better. I can't get off the first ship. Hope you enjoy my woeful attempts at doing so. Anyway, let's get on with it. Commodore 64 version comes first. Okay, right, here we go. Commodore 64 version goes first. You've got to fly your Manta ship across the dreadnoughts, blow them up, etc. I've not got a clue what to do on this game, so I'm just going to take my chances and see how it goes. By Andrew Braybrook with the music by Steve Turner. So, let's get into the Commodore 64 version. Now, again, I'm playing it with a joystick, which is no good for me, but here we go. Right, there we go. Really nice sort of intro thing there. Oh, now love this sort of backflip thing you can do. Whoa! Resisted the temptation to put my joystick on auto fire. Oh, come on. Right, now what have I got to do? Ow! Oh, it starts me off at... Oh, right, okay. Oh, that's not very fair. I did really well there for me. Now, I'm not familiar with shoot-em-ups on the Commodore 64 at all. I used to play them a bit on the Spectrum. So I believe that shoot-em-ups are a kind of strength of the machine. So I'm interested in hearing what ones there are to check out. Now, one of the ones I want to do is Armalite, because Armalite was never released on the Spectrum, but a demo did appear. It was going to be released, but a demo did appear on a Your Sinclair cover tape. Of the first level of it, and from what I could see and make out of it, it looked really good. Oh, blimey! So it was telling me. Oh, right, okay. Oh no, never mind. Right. Yeah, a version of it was planned, but it never saw release. And I did do a video of the demo of that sort of first level, and I thought it was really quite shaping up quite nicely. So I'd like to compare Armalite, God's sake, the two versions of it, just to see, you know, how they stack up against each other. Now, are there any other games I should try? Now, bearing in mind I haven't got the best trigger finger or hand-eye coordination. You can hear me thundering away at the fire button. Right, so I've got to go back now, have I? Right, how do I land? Not like that. That's called crashing. Yeah, this is really fast, frantic. I find it quite difficult, but bear in mind this is literally only the sort of third or fourth time I've played it. I was just as crap at the Spectrum version of it, but I did enjoy it. Right, one more go. Come on, let's see if we can do this. So, yeah, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, this had a sequel that came out on the Amiga. I don't know the Amiga at all, so I can't say whether or not that's true. And I believe the game won all sorts of plaudits. Zap64 Gold Medal Award, etc., and was one of a really good, a really strong lineup of games programmed by Andrew Braybrook, including this is off the top of my head: Paradroid, Gribbly's Day Out. I can't remember. Hellcat is Alleycat or something. Hellcat, I think it's called. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, this is really, really good fun. But it's difficult. It probably isn't difficult. It's probably just me. But the animation and the graphics on it are sort of really, really great. How do I land? Not like that. Right, okay, that's game over. Right, that was the Commodore 64 version of Uridium. I'm going to move on to one of the other versions now. Okay, see you in a sec. Okay, welcome back. Right, Amstrad CPC 464 version of Uridium. Great loading screen there. I believe this and the Spectrum versions loading screens are done by Steve Crow, creator of Firelord, Wizard's Lair, Starquake, etc. Now the Amstrad version is programmed by Neil Latache, as you can see there. I hope I've said the name right. Now, a couple of years ago I did a video where I compared Airwolf and Airwolf 2 on the Spectrum side by side, and Neil Latache wrote Airwolf 2. And I did a bit of research, and it would appear that sadly he passed away a few years ago. So rest in peace, Neil. Thanks for your contributions to the scene. Right, exactly the same game, but I can play with keys on this one. So it's Q, A, O, P and space. Now I've only had a very brief play on this. Not going to be a playthrough, probably not even getting off the first ship, but here we go. Right, Amstrad Uridium. Now you can see the graphics are nice, but they're in this kind of 4-colour mode. That the Amstrad had. Where I can't remember what mode it was. Someone did explain it to me. John Gage explained it to me in. Actually, a couple of people have explained it to me in comments of recent videos, but I've bloody forgotten. Is this mode 2 or something? Very, very nice. It runs. Runs fairly well. Not as slick or as pacey as the Commodore version, and of course the sound effects are of a slightly lesser quality, but it's playing okay. It's it's scrolling well. It's decent enough. You can see what's going on despite the sort of less colourful graphics. Yeah, it's not bad at all. Now what have I got to do? Oh, I've not got a crash is what I've got to do. Game over. Right, I've amassed a great score. Look at me. Everyone else on that high score table must be bloody awful then if I've got on it. Right, there we go. Right, let's have another couple of goes of that. Now again, Amstrad owners, were you happy with the version of Uridium you received or not? And people who knew it in its Commodore form, what do you make of this? If this is the first time you've ever seen it, really is seems to be really. Oh dear, that's a mine thing that chases me. It doesn't need to chase me because I'll just fly into a telegraph pole. What a waste of a mine, Mr. Dreadnought. This is a bit like that bombing run at the start of The Last Jedi, where Poe goes crazy and attacks a New Order Dreadnought on his own. But I'm no Poe Dameron. Right, come on, one more game. One day I will utterly surprise myself and you lot by actually playing a game like a boss. It's never going to happen anytime soon though, I don't think. Right, come on. Now I'm aware that when I do these comparison videos that I'm not the first person that's ever done them, far from it, but it's something that I like to do. I'm not stealing anyone else's, thunder or anything. It's just a good idea, I think. And I've got all these systems, and I intend to use them. I don't want them just sitting in drawers or on shelves and stuff. I just want to get some. Now where am I going? Oh, hey, you can fuck off. Oh, no you can't. Oh dear. Now you don't get the one thing I've noticed. You don't get the sort of like little launching sequence at the start. That bloody mine! I think what I'll do, I'll follow this Amstrad video with the Spectrum video, so that you can see how similar they are. What a twerp! Yeah, look at me. Right. Okay, so there we go. Amstrad Uridium. So time for the Spectrum version. Hang about. Be back in a sec. Righty-ho. Here we go. ZX Spectrum version programmed by Dominic Robinson. This is the version I had back in the day. This is the version I played a fair bit without being any good at. Really strange keyboard layout on this. ZX left and right. K and M for up and down. Enter for fire. Is what I've managed to work out. I don't know if there's a redefinable keys option, but yeah, this was the the game that, like I said, Commodore owning friends used to sort of batter us with and say, oh, the Spectrum could never handle, and it could never handle Uridium, but yeah, it could. It basically is a slightly less colourful version of the Amstrad version. It's not as zippy as the Commodore version, but I wouldn't have expected it to have been. And I did get a sort of lot of enjoyment out of this back in the day. Again, as I say, without being any good. But yeah, so Specky fans, what was your memories of our version of Uridium? And particularly those Commodore fans, what do you think, or how do you think the Specky and Amstrad versions so far? And bloody hell, I've just done it again. Stack up against your sort of, for God's sake, your version. Right, my last Manta. This is it, the last Starfighter. I think that beepy noise is a mine's been launched. Now, Hewson put out some wonderful games. Their sort of great games to shit games ratio was quite a wide margin between the two. I can't do any more on that than I've already done. Right, let's move on to the BBC Micro version. Hello, welcome back. Right, BBC Micro version of Uridium. Let's have a look, see how this goes. Now, first impressions of this are, this is really, really good. It's really, really fast, much faster than the Spectrum and Amstrad versions. And it's got I just love the sound on these BBC games. It really sounds like an old arcade machine, but this is really, really frantic. The graphics, yeah, they're a bit rough around the edges, but we shouldn't really be surprised by that. But yeah, yet again, further evidence of just how well the BBC Micro actually was supported. That it could sort of come out with. Whoa. Oh, right, so I'm starting again. Yeah, it really moves along at a good old, perhaps a little bit too fast for my eyes. But that's my problem, not the game's. really, really is impressive. Ah! It's me that's not impressive. So, if this is the first time you've seen this version, what do you make of it? I mean, it's identifiably Uridium, and I am identifiably shit at it. Come on, you alien sods. Ah! Oh! Oh! We made the high score table again. Come on, where's the Z? Oh, there we go. Right. Yeah, one more go at that. Oh, and it seems to have everything the other versions have. Ah, right. Okay, there we go. BBC Micro version. That's all 4 versions that I own for you. Thanks ever so much for watching. Let's go to the outro. So, there you have it. All 4 versions there. The Amstrad and Spectrum versions were more or less identical, apart from the Amstrad version was a little bit more colourful. I believe the Amstrad is capable of much more than just straight copies of Spectrum games. Not that there's anything wrong with the Spectrum version of it, but you know, why not do something that really sort of adds to the or shows off the Amstrad's capabilities. The Commodore 64 version, yeah, that was from how far I could get in it, it was great. It was I could see why it's held up in so much esteem, and the BBC Micro version was really, really surprising. Yet again, going to show what a valid platform the machine was. I'm very, very surprised at how much support it actually did get. I thought there was only ever a few games released for it, but it turns out there's actually loads, and many of them are very, very, very good. And Uridium is one of them. I think if you were a BBC owner back in the day, and you got that version of Uridium, you wouldn't have been unhappy with it. Same for the Spectrum and Amstrad owners amongst you. But anyway, it was all about generating discussion and chat between ourselves, wasn't it? So let's get on with that. If you like the video, please let me know. If you wish to subscribe, please do so. But if you do subscribe, please, please, please take the time to join in the discussions, because that's what it's all about. Have a great day. Goodbye.